got a chance to make your dreams come true. You can live a life that's lived by few. Wake up, now make it a reality. Make it a reality, who you wanna be.
What's up, everyone? I appreciate you being here for this episode of Become Better Daily with me, Phil Echols, where I share my stories and reflections, inspiring you to be the best version of yourself. Today's message is around the hashtag relationships matter. And I shouted out recently on Twitter, I said, one way of building and maintaining relationships is to listen and not monopolize a conversation. I went on to say, don't ask a question that you want to answer. Rush someone through their answer just so you can share. The story and thinking behind that was, I was at the table recently with a team of people, and I won't share their names. I'll leave it out of it because I didn't really ask them if I could talk about this. And it's not about them really. It's more so about my own reflection and my bad. Well, not really my bad, but here's the story, and I'm leaving their names out of it. So just throwing out in conversation, I posed a question, did anyone do anything interesting for spring break? All right. So first of all, the people at the table did some amazing things for spring break. I mean, that blew my Florida trip out of the water. And one of the people at the table began to share their story about Paris. They went to Paris for spring break. So my initial response took me back to my trip to Paris, to Europe a few years back. And I immediately wanted to go in like, oh, did you visit the Orsay? Like, did you do the Louvre? Did you do the, like, I wanted to list all of the things that I did to see if they did it too, right? But I caught myself and I just let this person tell their story. It was their moment. Their face was glowing. They were excited. They showed a couple of pictures. And I chimed in with a couple of like, oh, that's cool. I've done that also, but tell me more about your experience, right? And it was a moment for me because I was so excited. It took me back to my experience with Europe. And, but being the reflective person that I am, I recognized that had I began to just like go into my story, it would have taken away from my moment and my question. I asked because I was genuinely interested. I didn't ask so I could talk about Florida, and I didn't ask because I wanted to talk about my Europe trip. Yes, it came out in the conversation, but I share all that to say, sometimes we throw out questions. Like sometimes people say, oh, what you do for spring break? They're like, oh, that's great. Let me tell you all about my trip. So sometimes we ask questions, and that's just an example. But sometimes we throw out questions just so we can talk. And that's not right. I mean, especially when it comes to building and maintaining relationships. It really is about listening. It is about a genuine interest and inquiry in other people. And had I wanted to share what I was doing for spring break, I would have led the conversation by saying, hey, I just want to share this really quickly with y'all. I had a great time in Florida for spring break. A couple of things that really struck me as interesting or that I loved about it was A, B, and C. So don't ask a question that you want to answer. Rush them through their response just so you can share. I hope this message resonates. As always, each day is a new opportunity to become better. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.
I remember when it all started, me and my brother trapping off the white and blue Impalas. You got the talent, but I got the dream. What you mean? He said, you know we